welcome to Leader Be Led. This is David Lee Archer here, where we talk about anything. Politics, maybe horses once in a while. And this will be my first podcast for YouTube. I started out on another platform, but it didn't take long to come up. If I wasn't a shareholder or part owner in that platform, you just wasn't going to get any hits. I've had people email me privately and said, I even did a search engine for you and couldn't find you on that platform. So YouTube is sort of loosening their restrictions a little bit on things, so I decided to move to YouTube. Now, the purpose of my podcast is going to be more an introductory podcast than anything, is get people to think for themselves. In other words, no matter what side of the fence I'm on, if I see a subject, I'm going to do my research and see how much of it's false or been twisted around or half-truths, no matter who puts it out, left or the right. And key factors I look for. Let's say somebody on the left says something that sounds really far out or don't agree with it or whatever, which that's everybody's right not to agree with something. I'll do my research. And while I'm doing my research, there's some key things I look for. If articles come up, and at the beginning of the article or whatever, it's written by the Democrat Socialist Party, I stop there. Or I'll even go as much if it's written by the Republican Party. I'll admit I might read a little farther, but if it doesn't ring true, just because it might fit my way of thinking, I'll dig farther. I'm not going to take one side or the other. But nowadays, I got one particular friend in Alabama, they just seem like if the Democratic Party says something, it's all true. And I've read some of the stuff that she puts out that's facts. Well, no, it's either lies or half facts put out by the Democrat Socialist Party. And that's who they are now. And some people say, well, all Democrats not socialists. Well, yeah, there is one who's not a socialist. That's John Fetterman, of all people. I mean, I'm pleasingly shocked by him. He thinks for his own, and he's admitted that the good of his people in his district is more important than the party. And that's the way it should be. And the other Democrats, they're not speaking out about the socialists. Well, they're just as guilty as the socialists. So that's what I think on that subject. Yeah, like I said, they're going to be a little bit all over the place because, like I said, it's my first podcast for YouTube. But and Lead Be Led is, I want to encourage people, like I said, to think on their own and don't just buy into everyday jargon. Now, on a personal and a note for our county and this area, the city of Columbia, who controls the water, for some odd reason, they want a $150, 150% rate increase because they want to borrow $500 million, which would never get paid for. Because they say, well, growth is getting too much and we're not going to have the resources for that growth. But as time comes out, basically they want that money for Spring Hill. They're going to have way over 2/3 of that so-called extra water that we don't have. No matter what they do, we're only going to have so much water. They're they're going to be getting that water. Well, to me, that's Spring Hill's problem. That's not the rest of the county's problem. They need to figure it out on their damn own. And also, people are scared anymore to talk against growth and progress. I'm not. I'm going to put it in easy terms. A rancher's got 100 acres. That's a real small ranch. And so they buy 200 cows. Well, Lord behold, they find out that 100-acre ranch can't hold 200 cows. So what do? They got to start buying hay. So they go to the market, say, damn, I'm losing money this year. I'm not making what I did last year, and I got twice as many cows. I know, I'm going to buy more cows. So he buys more cows. We're just going to throw a number out there. Now he's got 300 head. So now he's got to buy more hay. His hay man says, sir, fella, I hate to tell you this, but I got to rise price hay. Prices of hay is going way up because it's hard to match your demand for the amount of hay you need. So we got to sort of regulate that. So farmers say, damn, price of hay is going up. I got more cows to feed. Goes to market. Now he's making less money than he started off with 100 head of cows. So he fights it and keeps going on and complaining to everybody that, oh, he's not making money. And I'm getting to my point. And so what happens? He ends up going bankrupt and loses everything. He loses that 100 acres because he wants to grow. He wants to be progressive. But now he doesn't have nothing. Why? He had a limited amount of resources. He tried to grow. But he didn't have the resources there to really grow, so he had to supplement them resources. And then he couldn't afford to supplement them resources no longer. So he kept going in the hole and digging in the hole and digging in the hole, and then he up and have to sell up after everything. That's it, people. A little bit of growth is fine. But if you got just so much, let's take the water situation here. If you only got so much water, you only got so much water. And the Lord help you, if we don't have much rain, it's going to get less. And some of the smart people here, well, we'll just build a dam on Duck River. That sounds good on paper. But what about all the people downriver? Not just people, but the animals. We finally got otters that's back in the Duck River. Right here, I think some beaver down farther. They're going to be gone because their home is taken away from them. And you're taking the water resource from other people downriver because of that dam. And you say, well, how would a dam affect that? It's a river. Duck River in some parts of the country would be called a creek, basically, because most of the time you can walk across a good part of Duck River from one side to the other. It's not that deep. So the term river is a little bit of an overstatement. But somehow people don't want to push back because they don't want to be labeled. Politicians don't want to be pushed back. Oh, they're going to sound like we're against being progressive. What's wrong with that? I wish politicians had the guts enough to say, this is what we have, resources. for our kids and our grandkids' sake, we cannot take them resources away from them. And that's what you're doing. Now, me personally, I've already designed, got it in my head and ready to just do it. If they pass this 150% increase, I'll fix them. I'll just get off city water. That'll be a supplement. So right there, see, they're already getting hurt. Because I can't afford, this is what it comes out to. If you got a $60 a month water bill right now, if they get that increase, that means your water bill is going to be for $160 a month for water, when it shouldn't be. Why? Because a bunch of people in Spring Hill, in the county, who gets water from Columbia, and Columbia is all they're seeing. I don't see how they're profiting from it. I'm sure some of their contractors, some of their buddies, and I'm sure through the back door they'll profit from it. But yeah, I got cats. Hey, this is the real deal here, but fellas and ladies. But in the long run, they're not going to profit. And what happens, you take, well, use Spring Hill for example. Okay, we pass that thing, we get them, which that $500 million is going to end up costing $1 billion. And they'll never get it paid off. But Spring Hill keeps growing so big. Well, we need more water. City of Columbia, what's the rest of the county going to do for us to get more water? We're hurting. Well, by this time, Columbia's water works is hurting because so many people has either figured out a different way to get water or they moved out of the county. So there we go. Now here comes the part back matching with that rancher. So we have all these people move out of the county or figuring out different ways to get water. Columbia is looking at the balance sheet and say, we can't afford to pay them even the interest on that loan. What are we going to do? Time goes by. See, we owe all this money, and the interest fee just keeps going up, but we can't afford to pay it. So what? Only avenue they have is to go bankrupt. And at the end of the day, mark my words, that's what's going to happen. I've offered, we got what we call a county mayor here. I offered a fella a chance to come on podcast. I want to do it again. Come on here and explain your views on it. Our other mayor, our existing mayor of the county, I've asked Sheila, I've asked you to come on my podcast. And I'll get this word out. We'll get the podcast out to people here in Murray County one way or the other. And you say your views. And our time's running out. So it's time for y'all to either stand up and get your voices really heard, or you just sit back and let it happen. I mean, you would think the mayor of the county would have either enough guts or enough influence to say, no, you're not going to have, my county people are not going to pay for your rate increase. It's not fair to them for a city in Spring Hill, called Spring Hill. It's not right, I'm not going to do it. But she seems like she wants to be political correct and not really say the hard crap. She just wants to talk around the bush and We need time to look for alternative ways. No, right now, yes, we need that. But we need somebody who's got the balls enough to stand up and say, no, stop it, this is the way it is, and that's it. Just a quick note, and I'm going to sign off here. It's funny, we have all these out-of-towners coming in through the years and open coffee shops. Hell, we're going to have 7 coffee shops in 1 mile. I guess, hell, I like coffee, but that's a little bit too much for me. So these progressive people that opens their coffee shops, they're not happy right now because they see that 150% rate increase on their water. Well, guess what, people? You Democrats and liberals from other states who voted your city council people in, who are Democrats, guess what? That's what's going to happen. They're going to stab you in the back just as fast as anything. We need to quit this party BS aside. And like my title says, you got a choice. You can either lead or be led. And you Democrats seem like you want to be led by your nose rings. I'm just going to say what it is. My podcast, we're going to cut to the quick sometimes. And I'll tell you what, if I see some wrongs done on the right, I won't be the first to point it out. Because I'm an independent old man, and I am an old man. But some people see my cowboy hat, look like I'm an old, uneducated redneck. But I'm not. I do have education. Hell, I even got business law underneath my belt. So, don't judge a book by its cover. So, with that said, like I said, this is my first podcast for YouTube, and I'm excited about it. And hopefully it goes somewhere. And if I get the views on this one, we'll get one going every week. Also, I got other videos on YouTube, True to Horsemanship, where it's horse videos, and I want to start hitting that pretty hard too. So, if you like my face, you'll be able to see it. So anyway, God bless, take care, and I always say this no matter where I'm filming. First and foremost, be true to yourself. I usually say be true to the horse and they'll be true to you, but in this case, and also be true to yourself, but I guess I can leave all that out now. So anyways, take care, God bless, and be good.